Hey, what's up everybody? It's your boy Callaway Jones, and I was not planning this video. Again, I got so annoyed. I was going through YouTube and I kept seeing these videos saying this really stupid thing. Everyone's running around saying Avatar needs to make $2 billion in order to break even. This is a lie. I mean, this is BS. This belongs in a toilet. Let me go ahead and explain what apparently these idiots aren't capable of figuring out. So James Cameron said that Avatar: The Way of Water needs to be the fourth highest grossing film of all time in order to break even. And everybody in their little pea-brain thoughts were like, oh my God, it has to make $2 billion to break even, because on the top lifetime grosses, obviously Avatar is number one with $2.9 billion, which, can we just appreciate that for a second? But anyways, you look at number 4 and number 5, we're looking at Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, and Avengers Infinity War, both of which made $2 billion basically. So people are saying, oh, Avatar has to make $2 billion to break even. Now, let me explain to you why these people are idiots. That's not what Jim said. He said it has to be the fourth or biggest in history domestically. When you look at the domestic charts, boom, Avatar, the first one, is number 4, and Top Gun Maverick is number 5, which respectively made $785 million and $718 million, meaning Avatar: The Way of Water only needs to make $800 million to break even, which makes far more sense. How do I know that makes far more sense? Well, let's look at these. The number one most expensive film ever made was Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. $379 million was the cost of production. Adjusted for inflation, that is $500 million. And this right here is a typo. This is actually supposed to be showing you the box office for the film. And the box office for the film was just over $1 billion. Now, let me show you where the first Avatar ranks on that list. They rank at number 10. The first Avatar was only the 10th most expensive film ever made. Cost of production, $237 million. Adjusted for inflation, $327 million. And the box office was, as we know, $2.9 billion. This article was written about a year and a half ago, so it doesn't take into consideration the re-release that just occurred over the summer. But I digress. Bottom line, it only needs to make $800 million to be profitable. How am I backing that up with what I just showed you to be the most expensive films? Because even if Avatar: The Way of Water was the new most expensive film of all time, let's say it cost somehow $200 million more than its predecessor, that would still only be $500 million. Now let's throw in, let's say, even though it wasn't, by the way, let's make it the most expensive marketing campaign of all time. That would also be $250 million, which is not what they did, but let's just say they did for the sake of this stupid argument people keep making online. You're still looking at, if I maxed both of them out, you'd still be looking at $750 million, which, by the way, adds up to the amount Jim was talking about, $800 million. That's all it needs to make to be profitable. We could stop there and just kill that stupid ass argument dead, but let's go further. This film is going to make $220 million plus opening weekend in America. I can guarantee you this. Now, if I'm wrong, you can come back here, go down to the comments, laugh at me, call me names, tell me I'm stupid, whatever you want to do. But when I'm right, come back and
grovel for my forgiveness.
Because I'm right. I know I'm right. How do I know I'm right? It's James fucking Cameron. Let's start there. Literally one of the 5 best filmmakers in history. Let's go to James Cameron's IMDb. Terminator, The Abyss, Aliens, Terminator 2, Avatar, and Titanic. This man doesn't miss is the bottom line. He just simply doesn't miss. And he just shits money printing machines. His films are always some of the biggest in history, and let's look at Exhibit C, his sequels track record. Terminator 2, which is to this day highly regarded on many lists as the best action film of all time. Let's look at his other sequel, Aliens. The dude doesn't miss. He doesn't miss on films and he doesn't miss on sequels. And what is Avatar 2? one of his films and a sequel. It's going to be huge. Now, here's another reason it's going to be one of the biggest films ever and gross 220 million plus opening weekend. Nothing else is opening. Aquaman 2 was going to open against this, and they were like, you know what? Nah. Let's get out of this kitchen. We don't want this kind of heat. I don't blame them. Everything cleared out of the way, as they should, because this is a fucking juggernaut. Juggernaut films are very few and far between. In fact, in my opinion, in order to be a juggernaut, you have to make $2 billion. That's what I consider a film to be a juggernaut. Let's look at how many films have actually broken $2 billion. 5. There are only 5 films that have ever broken $2 billion. And they're all juggernauts. Avatar, Avengers Endgame, Titanic, Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, and Avengers Infinity War. That's it. Of the hundreds of thousands of films that have ever released, there are only 5 that are actual juggernauts that have ever broken 2 billion. Now here's the crazy part. How many have broken 1.5? Well, you'd be looking at the top 10 club. Only 10 films in history have ever broken 1.5 billion. Even if you drop it down to a billion, by the way, you're still looking at 51 films in history. Only 51 films ever in history have broken $1 billion. I want to say number 50 is The Dark Knight. Here, let me go check. Yeah, number 50 is The Dark Knight. Number 51 was Jurassic World Dominion. You have to understand, these are clubs that are very seldom admitting entry. Entry into these clubs, it doesn't happen often. Avatar has a path. Avatar: The Way of Water has a path to 3 billion. It very well could become the first $3 billion film in history. And one of the key reasons for that is China. Avatar: The Way of Water will be huge in China. In terms of pre-sales, by the way, this thing is already breaking records around the world. India, South Korea, China, etc. It's breaking record after record after record. Also releasing in over 150 different languages. Average amount of languages for most blockbusters, around 60. Yeah, think about that. Look at your local theater next weekend. See how many screens are going to any other film. There is very little competition because people don't want to go against a juggernaut. This film has a clear way of, I want to say, 1, if not 2 months. So I can guarantee the film's crossing 2 billion. Will it hit 3 billion? Like I said, China's back in play. We'll see how many theaters end up opening up in China, but I could tell you this much, even though they're still kind of on lockdown in a lot of areas in China, it still managed to break records in pre-sales. You think over the next month and a half, if they decide to open up more theaters, this thing isn't gonna go nuts? Come on. It's logic. This is all logic. Use your brains. This film has a shot at 3 bill. Will it do it? I don't know. Do I think it will? I do. Is that a good thing? Of course. Can I also point out one other thing that bothers me with all these pundits talking about Avatar, and they keep saying the planet of Pandora, blah, 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 blah. Pandora's not a planet. It's a moon. I'm sorry. This is like my most nerdiest video of all time, and it is definitely a rant. It drives me nuts every single time. Pandora is a moon, and there are several moons, by the way, of the planet that Pandora circles. Let me cut myself off because I see I'm already past 13 minutes here. I wasn't planning on making this video. I don't even know that I'm going to edit it. I might make 2 or 3 cuts throughout it. Bottom line, Avatar: The Way of Water does not need $2 billion to break even. How are you guys couldn't have possibly believed that. Come on, stop it. Stop. It needs 800 million to break even, and it's gonna make that by like day 9. I guarantee this film will do 500 million plus worldwide on opening weekend. It's gonna have one of the biggest opening weekends in history. 500 million plus worldwide, guaranteed. Mark my words. Come back, make fun of me in the comments if I'm wrong. But while you're down there making fun of me, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that you can always be notified when I'm making new videos. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.